So guys, in this video, I'm going to teach you the template in the Angular, right? So you don't know, right? So how to define the variable in the controller and how to display the values in the HTML. These are the things you don't know, sir. So you need to know that as well. Let's go back to our project, Angular project, and open this app, expand this app. Now you can able to see index HTML, right? So in the previous video, I already show you this is our HTML template basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all these things, and let me remove and keep only this route outlet, right? Because in the app component HTML we always need to keep a one route outlet here. So it will basically, whenever you change the route, it always it always showing the different pages, right? So that's the reason I'm just removing all these, only keeping this one. And here in the component HTML, for the showing purpose, we already clean up, just showing learn, adding a header here, learn Angular with Rahim. Now if I go to these Angular localhost, actually I think it's not up and running right now. That's the reason it's not changing. So let me up the server here again. Okay, now it's up and running again. So if I refresh, you can able to see only learn Angular with Rahim, right? So right now I'm going to show you how to basically show the list of items in the template, and how to define a variable, and how to show the string in the HTML. Everything I'm going to show through in this video. Let's open this app component TS. You can able to see the title. So it's a basically basic Angular. So here at the moment you can see in the HTML I hard code this value, right? So instead of that, I'm going to assign that value into variable Angular with Rahim, and I'm going to use that variable in the HTML. So how to print this variable is, you need to use interpolations. So double commas, it's not a comma, it's a bracket, double bracket, and you need to mention this variable here. Now if I do saving, what happen is learn Angular with Rahim. So it always get refresh after you do the saving, right? So the page is get reload, right? So this is how it is. Likewise, let's say we have a array. I'm mentioning persons. This array, we have person called Sumudu, Rahim, John, Indica, right? So how to print this in the HTML? So that's the reason why we have these directives. So Angular has inbuilt directives, like we have, if you want to check conditionally in the template, we can use ngIf. If you want to iterate any kind of an array, we have to use ngFor. Likewise, we have the directives. So you can use one of the directive. This is basically for iterating. We definitely need to use ngFor. Let's use them now. How to do that is, we have a div, right? In here, star ngFor, and you need to mention here person of the persons. So the persons is a variable which we define in the app component TS. right? So this person is defined locally in this template. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going to print the person here, because it's just basically a flat array with a value. Now you can able to see it's get print Sumudu, Rahim and John and Indica, right? So that's how we use this ngFor directive, right? So let's say if I want to print only Sumudu's name, then I need to add a conditions, right? So how to add the condition is I'm going to use ng container. You can use anything, but ideally why we use this ng container is because it will not printing a rest of what you can see. So if it is empty, when the iterations happen, if you're using a div, it always adding the placeholders. But if you're using ng container, it's not adding the placeholder. So that's the reason I'm using this ng container. And what I'm doing is I am checking person equal to Rahim, then only show the Rahim. Otherwise, don't show. Basically, I'm only going to show the Rahim's name here, not the rest of the things, rest of the people's name. Okay, what is the issue here? Person equal to Rahim. So here what I'm doing is simple. So that's the reason. So now you can able to see based on the condition, it's showing the respective name here. So let me show you that right now. You can see here, in addition, some two kind of divs are get printed, right? So why? Because this array consists 4 peoples, right? So when the iterations happen, 4 times this div get printed. So that's the reason we need to always use this ng container. So I'm again updating with the ng container with the div. So now if I save it, now you can able to see it's get printed, and let me open, and you can able to see only Rahim here. Rest of the elements are not showing here because you know what, we not mentioned anything. So that's the beauty of these using ng container. So keep in mind, if you are using ng container, it will not basically showing the element in the HTML doc or in the HTML document. So this is a best practice to follow if you are developing application, right? So now let's say if I'm adding a div here, the div I'm mentioning here, let me show you now. Now you can see only one div get printed. Previously, if we iterate, we have a 4%, it always keep in the placeholder, always get added the new element to the document, right? So in this case, it's not happening. Why? Because we are iterating through this ng container element. So that's the beauty. So keep in mind that as well. Let's say guys, if we have an array with the object, so how we can iterate and print it in the template. So to do that, so let me create another variable. So in this case, animals. So it's array with the object. Here I mention name, cat, sounds, meow. Name, dog, sounds, bow. Right? So right now we have an animal array with the name and the sum. So how we can iterate and print it in the HTML? This is how it is. So I'm again adding element called ng container. I'm using ngFor directive, structural directive. Basically, it's a structural directive. Animal of, this is the variable which is defined in the TS file. Now what I'm doing is, inside this ng container, I'm adding another tube, and I'm using this string interpolations animal dot, here you can see name and the sum. Name is there, and the same I'm adding dash and another string interpolations animal dot sum. So now if you look back the result after saving, it get basically compiling, and now you can able to see the latest changes. Cat say mew, dog say bow. So it's get printed. So this is how we get how we can print it if we have array of object with the properties. If it is a single array, flat array, then you can directly print it like this. And if you have array with the object, you can simply iterate and use this animal dot name like the property name here, and you can iterate and print it in the HTML. Actually, in this video we learned about a directive ngFor and ngIf, and how to basically print the values using the string interpolations in the Angular. Right guys, that's pretty much about this video.